This DJNTV show is sponsored by DJ Event Planner, Electra Voice, DJ Trivia and DJ Bingo, ProX Direct, Odyssey Cases, Perfect Portals, Instant DJ Requests, and our DJNTV Insiders. This is John Young from DJNTV. Thanks for watching.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. We are back, the Big Daddy Show. You've seen all the sponsors, my Perfect Portals, everything, and all of my guests get one of these. I want to thank all of my sponsors who have been listed and everything. Had a wonderful chat with one of them today. Karen from Perfect Portals, folks, check them out. They're awesome. But let's get to the down and dirty. My guest this evening, I can honestly say, is my person. She is amazing. Watching her grow from when we met to now to the future. My friends, please welcome the one and only Jaymie Perez.
What an intro. Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me, Sean.
So glad to have you. Well, you know what, you've seen the shows before, and everybody out there, it's just basically two friends chatting. And I'm just going to ask you a few questions here and there. And I want you to tell these people who you are. The people that are out there that don't know Jaymie,
they're going to know.
You're going to know, and you're going to like it whether you want to or not. But Jaymie, who are you and what drives you in this industry?
So I'm Jaymie Perez. I run a little company called Explosive Entertainment out in New Jersey, East Coast represent. And I've been doing this for almost 8 years. I actually started out as a mitzvah dancer. I used to I was the manager of a store called Zales, the Diamond Store. I'm sure you guys know it. It's a chain. So I was a store manager for many, many years. And one of my very good friends used to work for the company. He has since moved to Florida, so he's not with us anymore, unfortunately, but he would beg me to come work for this company. And I'm like, what's an explosive? What is a mitzvah? What do you mean dance? Like, I've never taken a dance class in my life. I don't know what that means. You're crazy. And between what I used to do, I never had the time. So then I see him in the gym one day. I tell him that I had put in my 2 weeks, and he's like, great, come work for Explosive. And I'm like, what? So I'm like, he's like, trust me, you'll be fine. So I'm like, okay. So I stepped into the world, and I didn't realize that everything belonged to this company. I thought we were just the dancers and the speakers, and that's it. Little did I know, the photo booth was ours, and the stages and the lights, and the TV screens and the games and the photo booth, and the contortionist in the corner belongs to us. I'm like, this is all us. So I was really, really fascinated and intrigued. So I got into the office doing more of the back end sales, coordination, things like that. And then years later, I was like, I want to learn how to MC. So I picked up a microphone, learned how to MC. And then when the pandemic happened, I wanted to learn how to DJ because I never had the time. So then I had the time. So it's been my newest venture. I sucked. I was terrible. So I stopped. And then like 9 months later, I was like, I'm going to pick this up again. I'm going to give this a shot. And it clicked, and I'm actually pretty good. So that's kind of how I started here. But in terms of what drives me, truthfully, it's a few things. I love the community. Who knew what a community this industry had? Right now I'm at the DJ Collective. I'm in Atlanta, so I'm over here with the Buns and the Jaymies of the world. So it's really cool to see just the community, the camaraderie, and the support. A lot of people in this industry really truly want to help, and I'm one of the educators now on the DJ's Vault. So I think that's another passion, and something else that truly drives me is being able to help. Like, it took a lot of education for me to get to where I am. And I have so many people to thank, yourself included, for, the lessons that I've learned. So, now being on the flip side and being able to educate, other people is really special. And then obviously just, your clients and being a part of their pivotal moment, like maybe they're getting mitzvah, they're only getting mitzvah once, maybe they're getting married, hopefully they're only getting married once. Like these are really, really, really special moments. And for me, I'm a very emotional person. So that's a big drive and a big passion, is just to help people and be a part of their special celebrations.
Awesome. It's funny you mentioned the community. We're more of a family. There's who we are, when we're out together, we're at conventions, whatever, we're all there as one. A
It's
lot of
amazing.
people don't understand just how close we all really, really are.
Mhm.
And watching you grow from where you were to where you are now and to where you're going in the future is just absolutely amazing. Our friends that we have, the collective folks, the digital Daves and all those people, they're right
We smashed
there.
last night.
Oh, I
Yes,
heard
it
he was
did.
awesome. And did Drew Pierce play last night too?
Not last night, today.
Oh,
He did
well,
great.
again, another one. All that Steve, all those guys, they're amazing. But it's funny. We all have our own thing to do, and what this show is about, and everybody knows that, is I want the people to see what our future, and our future is in good hands. And this is one of the people that our future is in good hands with. Give me 3 lessons or takeaways, if you will, nuggets, even more hand, that you can share with the audience that they can use this weekend.
For me, I mean, I'm a very A-type. So not only am I talent, I'm on the back end. So I'm doing, the sales, I'm doing the coordination, I'm putting together floor plans and timelines and things like that. So for me, just being prepared and over prepared is I just can't stress it enough. And even when you are completely over prepared, things might still hit the fan. I'm gonna watch my mouth there. Things might
Right.
still hit the fan. I got you, John. So even like I said, you can be as prepared as possible, and things might still, throw you for a curveball, or something might happen that's completely unexpected. So just being able to remain calm, which is something that I'm working on, is remaining calm. They actually, one of the girls today had talked about remaining calm, and I know that is a point. That's a pain point for me. That's something that I know I need to work on. So just being prepared in order to avoid the chaos is huge. Like, don't get on site and I'll prepare my music. No, like at home, you prepare your crates, then you need to, have everything lined up and ready to go before you step foot into the event. Because what happens if you show up and, they set you up and, you're in the wrong area. Now you have to tear down all your equipment and set up somewhere else. Like anything could happen. What if there's a brawl outside and you get kicked out of the building or something because now the police are here and now you don't have time to set up? What if there's equipment failure? It happens. There's a hum. Okay, obviously I have a bad wire. Now you got to spend 20-30 minutes trying to find that bad wire. So you just can't rely on things like that. So just over preparedness for me is definitely really, really, really important. I can't stress it enough.
Yeah, because there's going to be a curveball thrown at you, no matter what you do, no matter how much you prepare, over prepare, and over deliver. But you get thrown curveballs all the time. And now more than ever, I'm finding, now more than ever, they say that they're ready, and the day before their event, they change everything up.
Everything. I mean, me and you have these conversations all the time.
All the time. And it's just like, okay, you're supposed to have this done. And we just had this conversation last weekend, with the people that
I'm
you were
struggling
doing.
for information for my client for this Sunday.
Yeah.
To her today, and I was like, I'm away, like, and I'm at a conference. I have very limited time to prep your things. Number one, number two, your portal locks at midnight tonight. Like, it's the end of the road. Like, we've gotten here.
Yeah, I've had
I
clients.
can't do my job if you don't give me the tools to do my job.
Right. Oh, well, you know your job. Yeah, the big thing is, you know your job. That's why we hired you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but if I'm not doing my job, if you're not doing the job right, and we're not doing the job right, then you're going to moan and groan and want money back or whatever.
She had literally said to me during our final meeting, Oh, things will just be on the fly because I think I had asked her a question about the daddy-daughter dance, and she was like, "Oh, we'll probably just decide day of." I was just like, "That is not how I operate. Like it, like it's printed, it's on a timeline, and I use the word timeline, but it's very loose for me. It's not like, oh, at 8:35 it's daddy-daughter dance.
Right.
It's a general guideline of events. It's even though I say the word timeline.
Right. Don't look at your guideline. Just look at just enjoy your party.
Exactly.
But what are you? Another thing that you're out hosting, helping host, helping do this, helping do that. What do you want all of these folks that don't know you to know one thing about you,
Ooh,
and the people that do know you, one thing about you that nobody knows?
that nobody
As
knows.
far as business, as far
Okay.
as in this business. Oh no, the other thing would they go by?
I'm like, that nobody knows about me. I mean, I think most people see that I'm consistently busy and I'm always working and I'm always at an event, but I don't think they truly know how many hats I do wear in this industry. Like, yes, maybe today I'm talent, maybe today I'm the DJ, maybe tomorrow I'm the MC, maybe tomorrow I'm the MC for a quinceañera and I'm hosting it in Spanish. Maybe the next day, it's a mitzvah that's got 30 different line items between different, activations and enhancements. And maybe I'm there as the day of coordinator or, project manager or whatever you want to call it. Maybe I'm on the production team. Maybe I'm on the back end. Maybe I'm, managing talent. Like I can be talent. I can also handle talent. Like I've handled some, really big name talents, unfortunately I'm not allowed to say names. I've also, DJ'd on stage next to really big name talents. I've performed on the same stage next to Nelly. So like, a lot of things for me, I suck at social media and I should be better. Like if you look at my wall, it doesn't look like anything. I think the majority of the things on there, cookie dough that, it's my cat who's no longer here with us, but like my social media doesn't paint the real story of the things that I do. I'm kind of a story girl. So like that's up for 24
Right.
hours and then it's gone. But I think it's really cool that I have so many different roles and that I can wear so many different hats because nothing is ever stale or stagnant. Not that it would be if they were always the same type of party or event. But I think it's really cool and that I'm so well versed in different areas. And like I said before, like I want to help. So like if you guys ever need, and that's one of the big things for me about conferences is it's a lot of mixing and what to play next and things like that, but there's not a lot of education on the coordination and the planning and the behind the scenes, the pre-planning. It's all about what's going on day of, but nobody really talks about what's going on in the before. And I'm not one to toot my own horn, but I will say I don't think anybody ever shows up to an event or prepares their team because obviously we have a big team, so I can't be at every event, but my DJs and my MCs, they're going in with everything that they could possibly know on one sheet of paper on my timeline. The song's supposed to be cut at this time, it's on the timeline. If you're mixing from this song into this song for daddy daughter, like it's on the timeline. So I think that's something that I'm really strong at. And I think that's something that this industry probably needs a little bit of help with. So I think that would be, at the forefront for me.
Now, your day of coordination, as far as day of coordination, are you also maybe a DJ on that event if you're doing day of coordination, or is that just day of coordination, running, say the photo, making sure the photo booth, making sure all the I's and T's are dotted and crossed? Okay.
Yeah. So if I'm day of, there's two different packages that I offer. So the first package is reception only. So I'm showing up an hour before. And at that point, it's kind of like, okay, let me go, checklist, make sure everything's good to go. But I don't have a whole lot of time to fix the problem or foresee a problem and be able to avoid the problem. The second package, the bigger package, is I'm there when your first vendor arrives. So if your first vendor is showing up on site at 8:30 a.m., so am I. And I'm the one, if they're not, if they're late, I'm the one calling. When their things are all set up, I will review all the services that are on the contract and I will make sure that all of those services are fulfilled. And if they're not, then, I figure it out at that point. So there's two different types, but there's so many moving parts when it comes to that. I wouldn't ever, and people ask that all the time because, when they talk to you, they fall in love with you and they're like, you have to be at my party. And then it's like, they want me to be their DJ because they heard me DJ, they like my style, but they also know, like I said, how prepared I am and how, well-versed I am with the planning process and the management of an event. So it's a little bit of a toss up, but I would never do both.
Yeah, wearing two hats at a party is kind of tough to, especially as how you cover
Yeah.
everything that you do, how
Maybe,
thorough you are. That was a word.
yeah, maybe that last hour where everything's pretty much done, maybe they have like a fun food station coming or like a final performer coming, who knows? But maybe in that last hour, if they really want me to throw it on the set, I would. Um, but typically, your DJs, once they're in a groove, like it's
Right.
hard to like, all right, like let me take over. Like Langsner and I, we do that all the time. Like he'll DJ a party and I'll MC it, and I'm like, oh, we'll tag team. Like we'll just, we'll switch on and off, and we'll rotate. And he gets into like this pocket, and like I'll look at him and I'm like, I don't think I should. And he's like, I don't want to stop. So that's kind of how we operate, but it's fun.
Being that we are as close as we are, and I adore this woman. Let's get that straight.
I adore you.
Your teachers, who were the biggest when you first started, when you came in this, and I know who you were talking about, Mr. And he's gonna, as a matter of fact, he's gonna be one of my guests, Mr. Schaefer from Florida. Who
Is
were
he?
the biggest? Yeah,
I love
yeah.
that.
Well, when you first started out, not just the guys in your company like the Mike and the Mikey Langsner and everybody else, who were your biggest influences? If that's right, who are your biggest influences?
So early on, I was blessed to go to the AC conferences in the beginning of my career, before I was a DJ, before I was an MC. So I got to meet these people, and early on it was you, it was Jason Jani, it was Joe Bunn. And for me, I'm like, I really admired what you guys were doing, but I wasn't there yet. I hadn't picked up a microphone. I hadn't touched CDJs yet or anything like that. So for me, I think it was a little different because I admired a lot of people and I thought what was going on was really cool. But in the beginning, it was a part-time job for me. It wasn't
Right.
something on the weekends. And I'm like, wow, this is really cool. And then it wasn't until I made it my full-time job and I started to learn other things, like emceeing and like DJing. And now I have like a whole different mindset when it comes to it. I admire the crap out of DJ Valentina.
Oh,
So, yes, exactly. So for me, like my mindset has shifted a little bit because now I'm a talent, I'm a performing talent. So things like that are a little bit different for me now. I kind of look at things with a different colored lens. But I still admire, all the same people. But coming to these conferences, you get to meet so many new people and you get to see the different ways that people can be creative and what works in their market, and wondering if I can bring it back to my market and things like that. But there's so many people here to admire, truthfully, and obviously you're one of them.
well, just to bring that back, when we first started, where do I fit in? How, you're meeting all these folks and, getting thrown at somebody like me for the first time, that's like being thrown into the wolves because that's who I am. But watching
Lions
all
Den,
these,
baby.
yeah, watching all these other folks, the Joe Buns, the Jason Janis, the Mike Walters for me, the
Yes.
Randy Bartlett's, Chris
Yes.
D'Amico, Jerry, all of our friends.
So many.
And family. There's so many. Valentina, I adore that. Oh my God.
Adore.
Hanging out, the three of us hanging out together.
Now.
That was the best. But where do I fit in? How do I fit in to this? And watching what you did and where you've come, it's one step at a time. And I am just so happy that you are zooming right up. And you've always been a part of the family. But now you are the family. You are Jaymie, your own entity, Perez. And that's what it's all about. And watching that growth, and everybody's got to understand, wherever you go, whatever you do, folks out there, it's not an overnight thing. If you think it is, take a step back and breathe again, because it's not.
And it's not even so much, it's surrounding yourself with the right people. Like, yes, I, busted my butt to be here and I work really, really, really hard. Like, I will never let anybody take that away from me, but it's so, I'm blessed to work for Xplosive, and I'm blessed that they have, the following that they do, and that they have the connections that they do. They know everybody. So because of that, I know everybody.
Right.
So, you know, and I'm really big on, you know, just building your community and helping people where you can help. And then you never know what it's going to lead to.
Right. Right. That's the whole thing. Again, our only competition is ourselves. And helping other people and hanging out with the people you're with this week at Collective.
Mhm.
They're all outside the box thinkers, and you know,
Yes.
and it's not a convention where they are, folks. If you don't know what the Collective is, it's not a convention. It's an experience. Joe and Brian and Jason have done magical things with this, and what they've done is make the future take a look at the future differently than they did before they went there, or before they, you got to open your eyes, open your ears, take the blinders off, and just understand that you can't do the same thing for 30 years and not change.
Yeah.
You got to move. Even an old gas bag like me, I'm doing my thing. And what we're doing with the show is showing you all what the future can do for you if you work hard. And this lady has worked her behind off. Absolutely.
Right. And doing it together, like, like I said, community, camaraderie, like I would rather us all go up together. Like, let's link arms and let's rise to the top together. Like, there's so many people that will step on you to elevate themselves, and that's not how it should be. Like, I think one of the questions I've gotten the most being here, because there's so many of us from Jersey, is, oh, how is it being here with your competition? And I'm like, I don't look at SCE or, Jack Bermeo from, LJ, he's here. Like, I don't look at them and I'm like, oh, my competition. I don't look at them and I'm like, oh, I want what they have, or, what do they think about me? Like, it's not like that. If we're booked, I'm giving these, potential clients their numbers. I'm booked, but call my friends over at SE, call my friends over here, because I know they're going to do a good job for you. So it's not like that for us over here. And I think the community really needs to hear things like that.
That's what it used to be like up in here in the tri-state area. When I first started going to bar and bat mitzvah showcases, if you went near any of the big boys, the double G's, the total entertainments, if you went anywhere near their things, you were just cast out.
Yeah.
Now you want to know that your friends, say the Jacks and whoever else, the Chris Atwoods that are there and everybody else in your area, if you're booked, you want to know that you can give somebody's name out and they're going to kill it for you, because that's going to make you look even better.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That makes sense. So that's what the future needs. Folks out there, this is what you need to hear and need to understand.
Write it down.
Write it down.
Your new mantra.
So one of the things, how did we get together? How did we become friends? That's one of the things that, what I know, where I just saw potential. I saw somebody that really, really, really had it, but needed that extra push a little bit, if you will. Look at you. I am just, but how did we connect?
How, it would have been
AC.
It would have been my first AC, which would have been August 2016.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah. And then obviously through Langsner, because Dylan wasn't part yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Before we took over Flair, yeah. Or Merchant Flair.
What guys out there, all I can say is, Jaymie, thank you. It was an honor to have you on here. One more thing before we go. What do you see in your future, and what do you see as a future in our business within 5 years?
So, I mean, I think, and it's funny, Jack Bermeo asked me something very similar today. He goes, what's like the end game for you? Like, where do you want to take this? And I really truly think that the sky's the limit. And I know that sounds like so cliche and corny.
No, not at all.
whatever.
Not at all.
But, you know, I've done some really cool things in a really short amount of time that I've been DJing. I mean, I DJ'd in a room that Donald Trump was in. Like, I've done some really cool stuff. So I just want to see where it can go, and, you know, see what the biggest stage is that I can perform on in front of the biggest crowd. You know, I'm blessed enough to be able to do these amazing private events with an amazing private event company, and, you know, and I get to do some really cool nightlife stuff. You know, I get to DJ at, you know, the nightclubs in Premier, at Borgata. I get to DJ, you know, the cool clubs at the Jersey Shore, like Jenks, like places that people in this area typically covet, you know, when they're DJs. And then for people to attend, you know, they think it's like the coolest thing. And I just want to see, I kind of just want to test myself and see what I can do, because I don't think that there's anything that I can't do. And I wouldn't, I don't,
Amen.
yeah, and I wouldn't turn down the opportunity, unless I truly knew that it was something that I couldn't do well and represent myself well for.
How can they get a hold of you?
So you can find me on Instagram. It's Jaymie Perez. It's down here. There's just an underscore here. I can change that if you'd like. So Jaymie_Perez. And you can also feel free to email me if you'd like. So it's my first name, Jaymie @xeevents.com.
Well, my friends, we did it again.
You did it.
Jaymie, thank you, thank you, thank you.
First,
And to everybody out there, I know that there's a black screen in front of me because ain't nobody looking at me at this one. It's all this wonderful woman next to me. My friends, have a great rest of your week. Real quick, next week, the one and only Jonathan Simmons, DJ Woo Pig, will be my next guest. Thank you all. Thank you, John. Have a great week, Jaymie. Mwah.
Love you. I love you guys too.